Well, hello. For those of you that know the aeroplanes, you know that this is my RV6 and it lives in Australia, so obviously I'm back in Australia. We spent about 7 weeks in Peru, 7 or 8 weeks, 7 weeks. I went there with the intentions of selling my Chinook and my Renegade, one of my Renegades. That didn't work out so well. If you saw last week's video, you'll know that spent most of the 7 weeks. My Renegade spent most of the 7 weeks being repaired after a mishap. And yeah, it's still unsold. So if anybody in Peru wants to buy an aeroplane, there's a perfect Renegade there. I also have a Chinook there, which I bought it for a different reason, and it's never ever fulfilled the reason that I bought it for. So anyway, it's up for sale as well. Meanwhile, back here in Australia, first things first is to service the RV6. Its annual maintenance is pretty much due. It's due in a couple of weeks, but I'm doing it just a shade early. I've already done the oil change. I've changed the filter. I've done the compression test. It came up quite well on the compression test. The aeroplane's got about nearly 1,600 hours on it. So, and it's still going. It's going exactly as it was on day one. Today's job, I got to tell you, it's damn hot here in sunny Temora in central New South Wales. It's hot. Yesterday was 37 degrees, and I don't expect today to be much better. And working in a tin shed, it gets your attention. It really does. Anyway, that's part of the fun. So yes, today's job is to check the timing, make sure that it's within spec, and clean the spark plugs and put them back in, and then do a general check of the engine, and then start on the airframe. It's a couple of more days of work, but it'll be ready pretty soon. I've got a few flights in the first quarter this year that I want to do, so watch out for those. There'll probably be something. I'll probably wind up posting videos about them somewhere along the line. But anyway, that's where we are. That's what I've been doing. I haven't started work on the other Renegade here yet. Oh beauty, it's getting windy as well, so that's makes videoing quite a lot better. The door's rattling. So yeah, I haven't gone back to work on the Renegade yet. That will obviously be fairly soon. I want to get this out of the way. I've got another couple of little jobs that I want to do, and then I'll be back into building the Renegade. So, okay, back to the RV for a little while. I don't know. I'm happy to continue on with the maintenance, with the annual maintenance on this aeroplane. If that's something you want to see, just let me know if there's parts of it that you want to see. This afternoon I've got some lock wiring to do on a couple of tiny bits. You don't need to see that, I'm pretty sure. But I do need to do the ignition timing, and if you haven't seen that, maybe I can film that and show you. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, let's see how we go setting the timing. First of all, I guess, what does that mean? what it actually means is that the spark plugs fire at exactly the right time when the piston's in exactly the right place in the cylinder. On this particular engine, that's 25 degrees before top dead centre. So as the piston's coming up, just before it gets to its very top point, you want the sparks to happen, so that by the time the piston actually gets to the top, you've already got a fire going in the cylinder, and then you're able to power the cylinder on the way back down again. Let's just have a look. So what we need in this particular case, there's probably several ways to do it, but this is the way I do it. I have this little box here, not very big, not very heavy. 25 years ago it cost $49. I just see the price on the box. You turn it on, it gives a red light and a green light. I stick to the usual convention, which red is left and green is right, just like your navigation lights. To connect this box up, all we do is connect up an earth wire. It's got 3 wires coming out of it, a green one, a red one and a black one. Connect up the black one to earth somewhere, connect up the red one to the P lead on the left magneto, and connect up the green one to the P lead on the right magneto. The left magneto is pretty easy to do. I'll show you that in a second. The left one is extraordinarily difficult, but we'll get there. Then what happens, we turn the engine over. When it approaches that 25 degrees before top dead centre, these lights will turn off when the points in the magneto are just about to open, just as the very second they're opening, and it sounds an alarm. The alarm is different depending if it's the right magneto or the left magneto. So you've got a couple of different ways of telling that you're in the right place. You've got a sound, and you've also got an indication, a light indication. So where's the P lead? Let's have a look. I'll take you off the tripod and see how we go. There. Park that up there somewhere. Now if we look down here, here's the magneto, if you can see where I'm pointing, and of course you can't. Dun, 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 dun. Go through there. There's the magneto. Must be able to see the P lead there somewhere. Yeah, that one. There, look at that, right there. Piece of cake. It's at the top of the magneto, easy to get to, absolutely lovely, but the two magnetos are actually similar. And of course, so the one on the other side will sort of be upside down. So you're doing all this backwards. There's the P lead connection right there. Can we still see it? No, right there, right at the end of that alligator clip. Yeah. So we're going to clip that on like that. That's clipped to hopefully the P lead. Yep. And we'll connect this. Sorry about the audio, it's bound to bang and clang. If we connect this black one up to just a convenient earth point, this will do. This is as good as any. There we go. And if we turn this on now, we're still not getting any action, okay. And we'll just turn the key on. Now I can afford to turn the key on because there's no spark plugs in the bottom spark plug holes, because I'm going to turn the engine over in a second. It won't fire because there's no spark plugs in it. It's got top ones in it, but I think you really need 2. Here's the key, lives up here on the top of the instrument panel. And we slip that in. and we turn it to the both position. Yeah? Now we might get some action out of that magneto. Mind you, we've only got the left magneto connected up right now. And yep, still nothing really happening over there. But we can turn the engine now. Oh, look at that. The light went out and we can hear a sound. That was the impulse coupling. There's two magnetos. One of them, the left-hand one, has got an impulse coupling. So we turn the engine backwards until the light goes back on again and the sound stops. Turn it back a fair bit. Bring it up. Until the light goes off. Right there. And the sound starts. Now that, all things being equal, that should be 25 degrees before top dead centre. But we don't know that. We have to look for some other indication. The magneto thinks it's time to fire. So it should be close. What we do is we come over here onto the flywheel, which is basically where the ring gear goes, behind the propeller here. And there's some markings on this ring gear, and we'll get underneath later on and check to see if those markings have lined up. Well, here it is the next day. Let's just try and move you around here where you get a better view. I eventually got the green wire connected to the right-hand magneto. I wound up having to reach in from this side and across to the other side of the engine to be able to connect it. But anyway, it's on there now. If we turn this box on, oops, on is in that direction. The green magneto has just fired. That's why the light is turned off, if you can see that in there. Let's try and get you in a bit closer. Yeah, there. That's about as far as I can zoom you in. The red light indicates that the left magneto hasn't fired yet. So if we bring the propeller around in the direction of rotation a little bit, there it is, just fired then. I moved it like 1/10 of a degree. So all we're going to do, the objective is to get both of them to fire at the same time. So both lights to turn off at the same time. And both of them to turn off when the engine is at 25 degrees before top dead centre. So I'll move you back a bit so that you can get a look at what I'm trying to achieve here and still see that instrument. Okay, so if we move the propeller back a little bit, and I'm sure you can see me, well, no you can't, you can see the propeller. That's my hand, believe it or not, and I'm just moving the propeller in the wrong direction, in the opposite to the direction of rotation, a little bit, about that much, maybe 5 or 10 degrees, doesn't matter what it is. I'm still not happy with the angle that we're on. Need to be about there. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but both lights are turned on. There they are, right there. Yeah, both lights are on. Means that neither magneto has fired. We brought the engine backwards against rotation a little bit to take the backlash out of the gears, because there's gear driven, the magnetos are gear driven off the engine, and we need to get rid of that backlash out of the gears. So now we can come forward. Yeah, we're moving in the direction of rotation until we fire one of the magnetos. And based on what I saw before, it'll be the red one. coming up. Ah, okay, so it's the green one. All right, the right-hand magneto has just fired. I've actually checked, but I'll show you how I checked it in a minute. But it's a little bit early. The red one is about there, the tiniest little bit of propeller rotation, which you can't see, which is sort of active. I want to bring you around this way. Let's see if you can get there. Bring this around here. Hopefully you can see both things now. I need you to see how far the propeller's moving. Let's move it against rotation again. So we're moving it back. The two lights have come on the instrument. And now we'll bring it up towards rotation. Here it is coming on the screen now. Remember the green one fired first last time? See how much the propeller is moving? It's virtually nothing. Tiniest little bit. The backlash is coming out of the gears now, out of the drivetrain. Maybe I moved it a fair way. Okay, so the right magneto has just fired, but like I said to you, that was a little bit early yet. And if we come now, have a look at where the propeller blade is and see just how much movement there is before the red one fires. It's virtually nothing. I'm moving it as slowly as I can. There's the red one firing now. Okay, so there's very little in it, but I will adjust the right magneto so that it fires at the same time as the left one. Ah, righto. Now, moving on to the next bit. How did I know that that was where I wanted it to fire? Okay, stand by. All right, this is about as good as I can do. The things you can see there, this is the ring gear, as obviously with the teeth on it. The starter motor's right here. Alternator's over there, if you can see it, there somewhere. What we're looking for is this split line in the crankcase. Okay, this is where the two crankcase halves are bolted together. The timing marks are located just here somewhere on the flywheel. This is the flywheel with the ring gear attached. So somewhere in there are the timing marks. We're going to use a straight edge on this piece of split line and see where it lines up on the... This is the split line I was talking about. This is where the two crankcase halves come together. Comes together along this line, right along here. Can you see my steel rule? On the right hand, well, your left, this along this side is a couple of bosses that stick out. They stick out like about 1/2 inch, I guess, that one, and maybe more than this one, maybe 1 inch. This is where we line our steel rule up against those pieces right there. What I'm looking for on the flywheel is this mark right here. I'm trying, just can't get the light right. I don't have enough light, I'm sure. But if you can see that, it actually says 25 degrees, where it says 25, in fact. But that's what we're trying to line up. We line that up with that split line. When those two are in alignment, we should have the ignition timing just ready to fire, just on the point of firing, when the 25-degree mark lines up with the split line of the crankcase, but underneath where there's a boss to put the steel rule up against. Hopefully that makes a bit more sense to you. All right, I've adjusted the right magneto a tiny bit, so hopefully they both line up now. At the moment both magnetos are fired, both lights are off, and I can hear the buzzers going. If we back off and we come up to it again, they should both go at exactly the same time. Okay, so there's the red one. Now, I didn't move the propeller, all I did was put a bit more pressure on it, and the green one went off. So basically they're identical. The red one might go a little bit early. Yeah, that's well and truly less than 1 degree. It's a good idea to check it at all 4 blades. So we'll go round, if I can, with the tripod in the way. Let's get the tripod out of the way a little bit. Line that back up over there. Now we bring it up and you'll hear the impulse coupling snap, which is the left magneto. Yeah, then we bring it back until both lights come on and bring it forward again. The red one's fired and the green one's fired virtually in exactly the same place. Go to the next blade. The green one will fire 25 degrees before top dead centre, and the red one won't have fired yet. When you're starting, the green one's actually taken out of the game. It's earthed and won't fire. Only the red one fires, and it fires late. It fires more or less around top dead centre. But we come up and fire the impulse coupling again. That'll fire shortly. Yeah, then bring it back, and off we go again. Both lights go out pretty much at exactly the same time. There's the green one this time, a little bit in advance of the red one. Again, no movement of the propeller, just a little bit of extra pressure on it turned the other light off. Virtually nothing. I'm going to call that sweet. Matter of fact, I'm going to call that very good indeed. When you loosen the magnetos off to turn the magneto, and you only turn the magneto a tiniest little bit to get a major change out of it. When you do the bolts back up, you'll find the magneto will probably move. So you might have to dance through this sequence a few times to get it right. But that's basically checking and setting the timing, the ignition timing, on one of these old Lycomings. It's pretty straightforward. It's just, if you've never seen it, well, now you have. And it's not all that difficult. So righto, what have we done? We've changed the oil, we've changed the oil filter, we've set the timing. Matter of fact, that timing light's going to be turned off now. We found that the left magneto was really easy to connect the timing light to, and the right hand one was exceptionally difficult, but not impossible. So now, next step will be continue on, clean the spark plugs. I've removed the bottom set of spark plugs. The bottom set of spark plugs are generally the ones that suffer the most. They're the ones that are more likely to get crud in them or whatever. Here's an example of a bottom spark plug. I'll clean that, make sure the gap's right, and I'll rotate the spark plugs. I want them to wear sort of evenly, so they don't go back in the same place they came from. You put them back in a very specific other place and rotate. All right, just to finish off the ignition system, these are the 8 spark plugs. This is the top row of plugs, and this is the bottom row of plugs. They've been cleaned and gapped, and I've annealed the copper washers just on the barbecue, heated them up bright red, quenched them in some water. The rotation is pretty straightforward. We rotate top to bottom and diagonally. So that one goes over here, that one goes over there. Same with these two. This one goes over here, that one goes over there. This one and this one swap over, and this one and this one swap over. Yeah? Just like doing Chinese arithmetic. Easy as that. So now these ones will go back in the top, these ones will go in the bottom, and it should give even wearing. They should wear evenly. Yeah, that's it. That's the 20-cent tip for this week. Yeah, this is not my my trick, by the way. This is courtesy of the Grumman Owners Association, but it's for a Lycoming engine, same deal.